Two kids could go in it?
Yeah.
How can two kids go in it?
So it's not an IVT or a CTV or a TTV. And this one's a little bit bigger frame, a little more horsepower. It's an S135. And they said, what is it? And
Screen.
I said, I don't know. So I got on the phone to my brother. He was just down the road. I just left there. Picked up right away. And I was like, we got a problem.
Look what just showed up.
What?
So as you guys know, if you've been watching for a while, we've had some troubles with our skid steer and loader tractor. This video is sponsored by Major Dairy AI Services Limited. We have the skid steer sorted out, and shout out to Ryan, who reached out to me and said they watch our channel and ended up buying our old skid steer. I truly hope it's been working out for you guys, Ryan. Anyway, we weren't in the market to buy a new tractor and really just took our loader for granted, thinking it was going to last forever. It was a John Deere 6230, and we just didn't even think about it breaking down. But it ended up having big engine issues, so we decided to demo some loaders, and not all were green. We have made our decision now, but come check out some of the tractors we tried and stay to the end to see what we decided to do. So from what I understand, the transmission is not quite as fancy in this tractor, which I believe is this puppy. But Eddie was explaining to me that that's not super important to him on a mixer tractor because he's not driving it all kinds of time. But look what it does have. A sunroof. Look at this. How cool. Oh, and it even opens up. It's got a sunroof. Oh, pretty cool.
I appreciate you stopping by there.
You guys want to check out the John Deere?
Yeah. Yes. It doesn't have a buddy seat.
You're right, it doesn't have a buddy seat. Is that a problem for you?
No, then two kids could go in it.
Would we do even any of the fields?
Two kids could go in it?
Yeah.
How can two kids go in it?
Kids did 2 laps.
There's 2 legs?
Yeah.
That's how 2 kids can go in it?
So it's a pretty nice tractor.
Yeah, it is.
I'm quite impressed with it. But yeah, the first thing I noticed, and the salesman was like, because he was talking to me, he was sitting there, I was here, he's like, oh, we don't really have a buddy seat for you to sit in. And I was like, well,
that's a problem.
You know, I got 3 little kids, like, this is prime time in our life to have buddy seats. Like,
3 little buddies.
Everybody has buddy seats now. So.
It's kind of a must in a cab tractor, eh?
But anyways.
Kylie said that's okay because there's 2 legs to sit on.
No.
But we have 3 kids, Kai. What's the 3rd kid gonna do?
Or even the 2nd.
Stand?
I can't have two on my knees.
So am I right? This is the transmission?
Yeah.
And it's not as it doesn't have the like scroll thingy.
No, that's right. So it's not an IVT or a CTV or a TTV, like some of these European ones are called. It's a power shift. Well, it's kind of like a power quad. So really it's the same as that 6120M. So you have 5 gears, and then you have 3 power shifts in the gears. So you can shift up 3 in one, and then you would shift to 2, and it would go in
so
2,
like a
1, and then you go 2, 2, and 2, 3, and then you go up to 3.
Kind of like a bike shifter, like changing gears on a bicycle.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that would be nice to try it out.
Yeah.
Not sure if John Deere will be happy, but
no.
It's good to keep an open mind, right?
Yeah.
I'm a pretty open-minded guy, so thought we'd try it. And have the shifter there. That's your forward and reverse. So yeah, the sunroof is nifty. The John Deere adds that to it. That's because loaders lift nice and high, and then it's easy to see through and see what's going on.
Oh.
They didn't do that back in the day, but
because loaders didn't lift as high.
Well, cabs weren't as common. Now cabs are more and more common. And I think they realized that was a big blind spot. Because people were going like this.
Yeah.
Put that in forward. We'll go straight to gear 2.
Whoa. Jesus.
Gotta get used to where the
sweet spot is.
Wow, where it jumps into gear, every clutch is a little different.
Isn't that called the sweet spot?
Yeah. See, and then I can shift.
Okay.
That's rabbit. And then there's turtle. And there's Snail.
Oh, don't hit Kylie's little car there.
Didn't see that. And then when you want to shift, you can press this button in, or you can press the clutch. So I can press the button, shift to 3.
Okay. So you had the clutch in when you did that.
That's like in replacing the clutch, yeah. Now the John Deere had with that too. Like the transmissions are almost identical as far as I'm concerned.
So is there a number on this tractor?
It's called a 5120G.
Okay.
So that's a 60 120. This is a 5120. So they're both 120 horse. And then this is your park.
That's the loader. It's pretty high. Right after the Deutz was dropped off, our neighbor Adam stopped in, and when he got out of his truck, he was like, "What is going on here? I feel like I've just walked in on you cheating on your wife, Eddie." He was just blown away that Eddie and I would check out a tractor other than John Deere, and when he left, he said he was going to head over to Eddie's brother Dave's place to tell on him. We got a kick out of that. Do you want to give me the rundown on this tractor? We've had this one for a few days. It has a buddy seat.
It's got a buddy seat, which is nice.
Folds up.
The gears are pretty much the same. It's got an extra, well, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 4, so a 24 speed, and that one's a 15 speed.
Okay.
But it goes 40K, and I believe this one also goes 40K.
Okay. And this one looks like it has a lot more buttons, or just they're in different places?
Just in different places. I think they all got these buttons.
This one also has a sunroof.
Yeah, some of them Deutzes, with the air cooled on a hot summer day, they'll heat up on it.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
So guys, we got another foreign color on the Coster farm. We're trying out a Massey. When guys see a lot of green in the yard, some dealers really want to, tease you to something else. And since our loader tractor is getting fixed, I thought it was a perfect time to try a few different brands. I'm an open-minded guy. You just got to ask Lauren about that. And so we tried the Deutz, or Deutz. I don't even know how you say it, but I call it Deutz. Somebody can correct me if you want to. And then we're trying a Massey Ferguson. And this one's a little bit bigger frame, a little more horsepower. It's an S135. It's got a nice sloped hood on it, which is ideal for a loader tractor because you can sit in there and you can really see where your loader bucket is or your bale spears. I wanted to see what a little more horsepower was like on the mixer. The Deutz would stall if I didn't give it a bit of gas with a full load, which isn't the end of the world. Like that's what I had to do with my little loader tractor anyway. But this thing, it didn't even, it didn't show signs of any fatigue. It just, when I started it up in the barn with a full load, it just started. So that's what I wanted to see. It's obviously more money than that one because it's more horsepower, it's more weight, it's a bigger frame. It's a nice tractor though. Come on into the cab and check it out. So you see the sloped hood on this thing? Like a lot of tractors, the hood would come out to like here and then go down. Like this thing is, it would look funny if you didn't have the loader on because it looks like a really tiny, compact tractor, but the fact that the loader's on it, it makes it really nice. Like John Deere makes tractors like that too now with a really sloped hood because everybody's figured out that small front end is just a lot nicer for seeing your bucket. Back in the day, loader tractors with a big front end, like it's just the way it was, or for the tractors I'm used to, and you had a hard time seeing. You got used to it if you drove it a lot. Obviously, you get the feel for it, but it just makes it more operator friendly. So this is the Massey cab. I don't know what to tell you. It's brand new, so it's really nice. It's got a sunroof too, which I think you can open somehow. I'm not sure how. Anyways, doesn't matter. Makes it really nice for when you're lifting the loader way up. You can see through the top of your tractor. The inside's nice. The joystick, the difference between this joystick and the Deutz joystick is this is electric, or that's what I would call it. So there's probably sensors and stuff and wires in there, whereas that one's mechanical, so it works with cables and stuff that actually feed down into the tractor, pulling stuff to make the loader work. So this is a little more sensitive, but when you're used to it, it's a lot easier. You don't have to push on it very hard. I believe the John Deere was also mechanical and not electric or whatever you want to call it. Fancy screen. Kids thought it was a tablet that they could watch movies on. I told them it's not a tablet, and they said, "What is it?" And
A screen.
I said, "I don't know." Lots of buttons in it. I'm sure they do stuff. Nice radio. Good air. Lots of vents all over the place. The window I actually quite like in this thing. It really opens.
Oh wow. Never seen that before.
Yeah, it opens really far. And it's easy to pull down. I was like, well, how am I supposed to reach that?
Yeah.
Right? I don't got a 4-foot arm. But anyways, you just grab this.
Okay. Neat.
So that's nice.
Buddy seat.
Buddy seat.
It's a very cute little built-in buddy seat.
Yes, the Deutz did not have a buddy seat. I'm sure you could install one, but if it did, the fender came out a little bit more, so your buddy seat would be like out here. Like the back of it would probably be here. Okay. So this one's tucked in really nice.
Yeah, it is.
I don't
Kids didn't like this seatbelt situation, but they'd get used to that.
I thought that was quite
obnoxious.
Interesting. I don't think there's any heated seat or anything here, but I am going to try it this afternoon to get a load of bales and see what it's like getting a load of bales. It has a suspension loader on it. So like our skid steer, you press a button, and when you're flying through the yard with a bale or a bucket of feed, the loader rides with the bumps and just glides through the yard, through the bumps. And this loader tractor has the same thing. So you press this button here, you just press it, and then all of a sudden, like, you could be going through the field with a bale and you would just be floating nicely, rather than that loader bouncing over the bumps and making the whole tractor shake. Like, they just keep making this stuff nicer and nicer for operating, and really because guys are getting rammier and rammier and trying to do things faster, then at least it's comfortable when you're doing it fast. But all these options are more things to service in the future. You know, it's one of those things. It works for the first 4 or 5 years, but it's another thing to service, so you got to be careful. Do you want it? Do you need it? Is it worth it? You know, it's kind of like a vehicle. If it's a farm truck, roll down windows are just fine. Like, do you need power windows, power this, censored bumpers? Like, if you're gonna back up to something, I think, and you know how to drive, you don't need something beeping at you telling you if you're gonna hit it. Like,
and how did you learn that?
I had a truck once that had these censored bumpers. Complete waste of money. I got so sick of it. In the winter here in Canada, you get ice on your bumpers, and you would have to clean the sensors off for the thing to stop beeping, or it would just beep. So the one truck I had that, I just shut the sensors off, and I drove it like that for years. It was just a waste of time, waste of money. If they ever broke, I would have never fixed them. Like, it's just useless. So all I'm saying is,
and you're paying for,
but you're paying for those options. So all I'm saying is, it's not so bad to have a roll down window. It's a lot easier to fix a mechanical feature than something with sensors and motors and all that stuff. So I guess all I'm saying is, be careful of the features you're buying, because they might be useless and expensive to fix. Anyways, nice tractor. I'm going to try it out this afternoon, get a load of bales. The guy from Shantz Farm Equipment, which is the company that is letting us demo this tractor, said I could go get a load of bales with it, and that was fine with him, just to see what it was like. So that'll be cool this afternoon. So we got our corn in on Saturday. We went ahead and used those 2 open bags of seed. We got the corn in Saturday. My brother and nephew started around 11 in the morning.
Tell them about the fertilizer.
And we had a little bit of trouble. I got done cultivating the field we were going to put corn in. I went back to my brother's with the tractor and the cultivator, dropped it off. My corn starter was in a little gravity box there, or little gravity wagon or whatever. I was pulling it home with his little tractor that he was going to use on Saturday to run the hydraulics on the auger to fill his planter with corn starter. And I rounded the corner in the small town we live in, or that we live beside, and the whole wagon dumped over. 3 tons of corn starter. It was all over the road. It was on the crest of a hill. The wagon was falling apart in one lane. The corn starter was all over the other lane. It was about 9:45 at night, and I was just like, oh boy, like, how are we gonna clean this up? So I got on the phone to my brother. He was just down the road. I just left there. Picked up right away, and I was like, we got a problem. I said, I need help with traffic, because there was still traffic coming from every direction. It was at the main intersection. And I said, we got to clean up this corn starter like ASAP. And, you know, he was humming and hawing and like, well, what am I going to bring out? And I said, well, bring another loader and bring a wagon or something, like anything that we can dump 3 tons of corn starter in. So in about 20 minutes, he showed up, and there was people we knew, people we didn't know. You know, the guy that built the barn here, he showed up. He was kind of chuckling, laughing. He's like, oh, Eddie, what happened here? Anyway, so then people pulled shovels out and brooms as soon as Mark got there. And I'd say we had the 3 tons of fertilizer cleaned up and the wagon back on the undercarriage with a strap on it. Oh, I'd say in about 6 minutes. It was amazing. It was just like that. But somebody called the fire department or the cops or something because they wanted traffic control. Apparently, you know, we weren't doing good enough. And then the fire department showed up. And he's like, well, since we showed up, we have to wait for the police to show up, which he said isn't a big deal because it wasn't your fault. It was just an accident. Nobody got hurt. So he said all they're going to do is make a report. It doesn't mean anything, but he said we have to wait until they come. Normally, he said they come in about 10 minutes. Well, we waited till almost midnight, from 10 o'clock till quarter to midnight, waiting on the cop. And he showed up and he didn't care at all. He's just like, oh, you guys were waiting all that time? And he was somewhere else at some other accident, but he was kind of thinking the same as us, like, what was the point of waiting for this? But it was part of the rules. It's what we had to do, or what I was told anyway.
You're a rule follower.
And we had a big day the next day, standing around here in the middle of the road in shorts and a t-shirt, and it was going down to 8 degrees that night. It wasn't really something I wanted to do, but anyways. So thanks to us dumping that fertilizer, we picked up some stones, some debris in the bucket, some debris in the dump trailer, and my brother had quite a time getting it fed through the planter, so we only actually got a third of it fed through the planter of that corn starter, and then the rest we had to broadcast on, which isn't ideal. You kind of want that seed either worked in or down with the seeds, but it was you know, it was what it was. Nobody got hurt. We got it cleaned up fast. A third of the field I had to spread on with a fertilizer spreader that I rented from the company that we deal with for seed and fertilizer. I rented that the next day, spread it on, and my agronomist told me, he said, since it's, you know, the beginning of June and it's warmer days and nights now, that'll be more ideal for that starter with warm rains and stuff to get to the seeds rather than if it was cooler, like if we planted the end of April. He said it would be even worse, but he said it is what it is, so whatever. He said just get it on with the spreader, and that's what we did. Now we're done first cut, we're done corn. The new seeding is looking really good. We'll take you over there maybe in the next few days or next week. We got 3 fans that we need to fix. 2 of them, the belts burnt off this winter. Ice got in them and they tried to turn on a mild winter day, and then it burnt the belts off. And then another one, I don't know what happened to it, but the fan blade broke, and then it banged around in there with a bunch of the other blades, and 5 out of the 6 blades cracked. So we got to fix that one too.
So we tried a used John Deere loader and the Deutz, and then a Massey Ferguson, and the Deutz and the Massey were brand new. And believe it or not, we went with, Eddie chose the Massey. So stay tuned to see some videos including that. And thanks so much for watching. Thanks for supporting Dairy, and I hope to see you in the next one.